Hello, my name is Kate Olson, and I will be talking about exploring ways to reduce psychological risk factors of carrying the weight of a character in theater acting jobs. The reason I chose theater acting specifically is because you have to put on a repeatable performance for either like a weekend to years upon years upon years, and you need those performances to be exactly the same legally. Legally, you have to have them exactly the same, and that is like in the contract you sign when you sign on to that show. So, theater acting jobs exist to bring stories and characters to life in a way that helps audience connect, feel, and understand the human experience. So, being a conduit for all of that emotion is really mentally taxing, and it is not something that is taken completely seriously because it's been part of the job for so long. So, the hierarchy of controls prioritizes risk reduction methods by effectiveness. Elimination and substitution are the most effective, but often the hardest to implement, while encouraging and education are easier to apply, but often less reliable, but offer less reliable protection. So, with encourage, most of that is just like actors should seek help. Like, find a therapist to talk to, where it's very much a you problem, is how it seemed. To educate, the actor then becomes their own like mental health therapist and taught mindfulness, grounding techniques, and also could be taught about healthier acting methods. But both of these rely on the actor taking the steps to fix the rehearsal room. Redesign goes more into changing how the actor approaches the work and less of approaches the damage. So with redesign, it would have a like check-in, check-out system, which includes a certain routine so that you can take off the coat of a character, how we say. And by redesigning these structures, the process becomes less overwhelming, allowing actors to rest and also to take a break instead of inhabiting these not so great mindsets for hours at a time. To support actors' well being in substitution, that lies on the director. So the director must change the rehearsal room, which is not very common. So for elimination and substitution, those are both director based because the director is in charge of the room. And if the director chooses not to prioritize, actor mental health, then that is something they choose to do because they are in charge. But for substitution, directors can swap out the things they want. So if it's a scene that involves a like heartfelt confession that ends in a murder, they can that, and it's mentally taxing because that like movement specifically is triggering to the actor for some reason, then the director has the ability to change that if they so choose. So these like small thoughtful changes can create a big difference to a person in creating a sustainable creative process, but the director has to be the one to head it. And elimination, directors should just avoid those scenes entirely and just like reframe intense moments, remove intense casting requirements, like dual casting where you play 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different characters in a show because that's a lot and it's very common. Or like cutting high risk elements like stunts, breakdowns, challenging vocals for safer alternatives. But elimination, most scripts, when you sign on that you want to do that show, it's illegal to change even a word. So that one's illegal, but it would be helpful. Also, another thing for substitution is implementing a required acting method instead of every actor fending for themselves, choosing their own method that works best for them, and requiring them to use a method that prioritizes their mental health. Like Uta Hagen's 9 questions method instead of like method acting or Stanislavski. So yes, that is my poster. Theater majors, we're not just playing pretend. We have mental struggles too.